Hi, and welcome to Cradle Accounting. Cradle is a software application that will automate your financial reporting requirements for IFRS 16 and ASC 842. Cradle is also a tool where you can manage and keep track of your lease portfolio. The purpose of this video is to give you a brief introduction to how Cradle can solve your lease accounting compliance. Cradle offers a range of functionality, but we won't get into everything in this video. So if you would like more information on our foreign exchange accounting, how to set up and organize your lease portfolio, consolidated reporting, lease management tools such as user permissions, notifications, and custom fields, please don't hesitate to reach out. The first thing I'd like to highlight when looking at Cradle is we replicate the principles of consolidated accounting. Here you have the parent entity, creatively titled Parent Entity Inc., and in the current company's view, all the companies within that parent entity. You can then select a company and see the applicable agreements under that company. Another option to view your lease portfolio is at the agreements level. You can then sort and filter all the agreements in the portfolio, in this case 168 agreements, based on any of the input parameters when capturing the lease data. So that's a quick overview of how Cradle is structured. Let's say you have several teams that use Cradle, starting with the administrative team that updates the portfolio's current status. Then, at each month end, the finance team will make necessary updates to the accounting information to ensure compliance with the applicable accounting standards. So, how is this achieved in Cradle? We first want to select Events to search for relevant events that can impact modification accounting. Now please note, you will see here some pre-selected ranges. All of Cradle's reports can be run for any date range, whether 2 days, 200 days, or 2,000 days. In this case, I've selected December 2020 and will search for CPI review. Once the search is complete, we can see we have a 5% CPI increase that was communicated on December 15th, with the increase starting on January 1st, 2021. So we now need to select that individual agreement and update those details because a CPI increase has an accounting implication. So how do we input a modification within Cradle? Without having to say anything, I'm sure you could figure it out. Here we have the agreement name Ballard, Wells, and Pitts under Shackleton Inc., the company that the agreement has been entered under. So we select the agreement Ballard, Wells, and Pitts, and this will take us to the agreement view. You're looking at the agreement name, the company it is under, Shackleton Inc., and we're currently in the Agreements Overview tab. The first thing you will notice are some key values of the agreement, such as the right-of-use asset and the lease liability. You can look up any of these values for any date. Below we have a chart that depicts the unwinding of the lease liability and the amortization of the right-of-use asset. Within the agreement level view, we have the Initial Recognition tab, which is where you input the lease contract's initial details. Here we have the Modification tab, in which you input any modifications to the lease agreement. Next is the Custom Fields tab. This is where you can capture non-accounting information that can be crucial to managing your company's lease portfolio. Next up is the tab to input each account's general ledger codes. This allows you to integrate with your general ledger environment in your applicable accounting software. We then have Financial Reports, consisting of the Journal Report and all other financial reports included within a set of financial statements, including disclosures. Last but not least, the Attachments tab. These reports can be run either at the agreement level, the company level, or the consolidated level. Before we run any reports, we need to select the Modification tab to input that CPI increase. Within the Modification tab, we then select Add New Modification. In this case, it's a CPI increase, so we select CPI Increase. The next step is to add the modification. The date effective was December 15th, 2020. The start date is January 1st, 2021. Let's say there's no end date to the 5% increase. Once done, I then select Create. Once created, the modification is logged so other users can see that the modification has been input from the accounting perspective. Now that we've input this modification, and let's assume from an accounting standpoint the rest of the portfolio reflects the most recent contractual changes, we're ready for month-end reporting. So what do? we select Consolidated Reports, and then we can run the journal entries for the month. In this case, we select December 2020, in which you will then be prompted to recalculate. That is one of the many validations within Cradle. This validation ensures that reports are always run with the most up-to-date information. We are then going to run the journals for all agreements within the parent entity, including those agreements in foreign currencies, and convert them to your applicable reporting currency. Once run, you will see the Consolidated Journal Report. You can then export the journal report to a CSV, uploading it to your accounting system. The reports available at the consolidated level include the balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, and disclosures. So that's all we're going to go through in this video. Thank you very much for your time viewing the demo. Hopefully, it's displayed how useful Cradle can be to meeting your financial reporting requirements for lease accounting. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team.